You're listening to Midlife Side Quest, the Over the Hill Gaming Podcast. Here's your host, John Wall.
Hey, it's August 21st, 2025, and welcome to episode 146 of Midlife Side Quest, the Over the Hill video game podcast. My name is John Wall, and every Thursday morning I bring you my video game impressions, the latest industry news, and tales of a Gen X geek, delivered to you in just 15 minutes, because you're busy. You got a lot to do. Thank you for tuning into the show. Today on this episode, I'm going to be talking about all of the big news stories coming out of Gamescom this week. But we'll start things off with some of the other gaming news, the adjacent news from this past week. And Nintendo had a brand new Direct, which spent a whopping 45 minutes in a way that only director Masahiro Sakurai can, discussing the upcoming Kirby Air Riders in ridiculous detail. As someone who never played the original game, I was pretty interested to see what this game had to offer. So let's run through it. First of all, we got the release date. The game is coming out on November 20th of this year, which seems like a pretty prime calendar spot. I'm guessing that Nintendo has pretty high hopes for this game to put it out in November. They've got the new Pokemon Legends Z to A in October, and presumably still Metroid Prime 4, although I don't know. We'll see. Either way, a pretty solid Q4 for Nintendo. They also showed off some of the racers you'll be able to play as, including Meta Knight, King Dedede, and Waddle Dee. I'm not super familiar with all of the characters in this world. I didn't play a lot of them as a kid. I got into them a little bit later in life. But it looks like they're giving you a good selection of those characters. We also learned that the game is being developed by the Smash Brothers combo of Sora Ltd. And Bandai Namco, which feels a little bit un-Nintendo, to say who's making a game before it comes out. That's definitely not what they've been doing lately, so that was cool. On the gameplay front, they showed off how Kirby won't be the only one with enemy copying abilities, which kind of makes sense considering, in the first game, you could only play as Kirby. So, that would kind of make it unfair now for him to have that advantage over the other racers. And they showed the city trial mode, which lets up to 16 people compete online. They showed a bunch of levels, the different, I don't even know what you call them, the machines that you'll be riding on, that you'll be racing, other gameplay mechanics, and just a bunch of stuff. They went deep into this game. I admit, I'm not the biggest Kirby guy in the world, and I sometimes find these long single game, like deep dives to be a little, self-indulgent. It's a tough word, self-indulgent. But also it's nice to see someone who puts so much work into these games discussing a project that they clearly have a lot of love for. And, how can you not smile when you're watching or playing a Kirby game? It's like concentrated childlike joy. So I'm excited to check this out, as well as the Switch 2 version of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is coming out next week. So right now in Cologne, Germany, over 300,000 people are attending the largest video game convention in the world, Gamescom. Back in the E3 era, Gamescom always kind of felt a little bit like an underdog in the gaming world. Never quite got the same level of attention and respect as its LA counterpart, despite being, like a much bigger sized show. But now, that the corpse of E3 has gotten cold, the spotlight is brighter on Germany lately, and we're getting more news and announcements than I think ever before. So this week, I'm going to go through what I think are some of the biggest and the best things to come out so far out of Gamescom. Not everything, obviously, but what really caught my eye. And first off is one of my favorite announcements so far, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight from Traveler's Tales. There have been a ton of Lego games over the years. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Marvel superheroes, and Lego Batman before. But, Lego Batman found, like, an extra level of success, with the movie that came out, with Will Arnett. It just kind of clicked in a different way. And this new game looks fantastic, and it takes inspiration from the original TV series, the comic books, and all the different films, it looks like. I unapologetically love these games, and Christina and I would always play a bunch of these together. So I'm excited for this to come out next year. Xbox showed up in a big way with a look at the rest of their 2025 lineup, including a reveal for Call of Duty Black Ops 7, a story trailer for Ninja Gaiden 4, and a look at your companions in The Outer Worlds 2. But my favorite thing from Microsoft was a look at the upcoming DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is called Order of Giants, and it launches in just a few weeks. This story has Indy exploring ancient Roman catacombs and learning more about the giants who were a big part of the first game. This was my game of the year last year, and I am absolutely planning on doing an episode on this DLC. And they also revealed that the game is coming to Switch 2 sometime next year, so that is great for Nintendo owners. We got another look at two big survival horror games that are coming out soon with Silent Hill F and Resident Evil Requiem. Silent Hill looks pretty good to me. Taking that series and placing it in Japan seems like a really good fit, and the trailer was creepy and weird and everything that you want from a Silent Hill game. The Resident Evil trailer was brief and didn't show as much of the game as I was kind of hoping. It kind of stuck to what I'm assuming is kind of the beginning of the game, but it did set a tone that kind of reminded me a bit of the beginning of RE7, so we'll see what that game is actually like fairly soon. I think people got hands-on with it at the show, so I'm sure we'll get previews and impressions coming out. We got date and pricing on the upcoming Xbox ROG Ally and the ROG Ally X, the new handheld versions of Xbox. They'll be hitting stores on October the 16th, and they're going to set you back $549 for the base model and $899 for the X, and another $100 if you want to get the charging dock for it. I'm very interested to see if these find an audience. Xbox is in a weird in a weird place, I think would be an understatement. In other pricing news, starting today, all models of the PlayStation 5 will be more expensive in the US by $50. Sony announced the price hikes yesterday that put the digital model at $499, the base model at $549, and the Pro at a whopping $749. Woo! Welcome to the new world, people. Consoles now go up in price over time and not down. Let's see, what else do we got? I thought Unbeatable looked really slick, super stylish, rhythm type game, I think. Cool art style, cool music. That could be rad. Sony showed off more of Ghosts of Yotai, and I'm still not sure on this. It's pretty. It's definitely pretty, but it also seems to be treading a lot of the same ground as Assassin's Creed Shadows. Even the plot seems very familiar to me. And I loved Shadows, and I might be content to just play that game's DLC, which is coming out, rather than, dropping $70 on something that is very similar. Onimusha, Way of the Sword looked neat. I really like those old games. Season 2 of Fallout was shown. That comes out in December. And, and how can I forget? They're making another Bubsy the Bobcat game. I don't know how. I don't know why. But, yeah, Bubsy 4D is a thing. So I think it was an okay show. Some good things were shown. Some games, to get excited about. Another thing. Lastly, it would appear that Hollow Knight Silksong, I forgot about this one, is an actual video game that is coming out this year. The Metroidvania from developer Team Cherry has reached almost legendary status as a game that's been in development forever and was seemingly never coming out. But members of the press have gotten hands-on with it this week, and they've been posting previews already, and it sounds like it's coming along pretty well. And they've scheduled a special announcement for later this morning. So by the time that you are listening to this, we will probably know the release date for the game, and who knows, maybe they just shadow drop it right away. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good show. Number one, I love a good trailer, honestly. I really like trailers. There's an art form to them. But watching them for 2 hours straight, it was a bit much. I just don't think these things need to be that long. And I know I'm repeating myself with this point, but I just gotta say that having to sit through 2 hours of Jeff Keighley seemed especially painful this time, having to endure him through all three major gaming events throughout the years, the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest and this. It's just kind of a bit much. I gotta be blunt. I don't think he's a talented host. He doesn't bring charisma or humor or seriousness really to these events. He ignores the major, issues and challenges that are going on with the games industry to just fawn over which celebrities he can get on the stage and brag about how he gets to see these games early. It just, I don't know. It's wearing on me, I gotta say. He's not a good representative of the game industry. He's a circus ringmaster. All right, well, there was so much news that I think that's going to about do it for the show. We don't really have much time for much else. I know you're disappointed that I didn't have any more dad jokes for you this week, but don't worry. I got you next time. Thank you so much for listening to Midlife Side Quest. I really appreciate you making time in your day to hang out with me. You can catch a new episode of the show every Thursday wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can support the show by subscribing and leaving a review. Until next time, be well and happy gaming.